system. So top of the funnel, middle of the funnel. I just want to share this with you. So this is a graph showing top of the funnel leads. So when you look at your real estate business, you're going to have this. You are going to have people who are top of the funnel. And what are top of the funnel leads? They're that research lead. They're that person that's kind of further down the line, not quite ready to do anything just yet. They may be somewhere in the neighborhood of, like, let's call it a year to 2 years out, right? Those would be top of the funnel. I would say 6 months plus a year plus top of the funnel. Middle of the funnel leads would be, under a year, I would say, like 6 months to a year. They're kind of in the middle. They've done more of the research. They're further down the line in making a decision. Those would be your middle of the funnel leads. And then you have your bottom of the funnel leads. These are folks that are making a decision, putting pen to paper within the next 6 months. Now, as you can see, typically, we're getting top of the funnel leads coming from our social media advertisement, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, social media sort of advertisement, right? When we get to middle of the funnel, it's more direct. It's your pay-per-click on Google. It's your realtor, Zillow leads. It's your own personal website leads, ads you put on YouTube. And why is it that they are more direct than, let's say, the top of the funnel? Well, quite simply is they're more of the research lead. Are actually typing in homes for sale or this particular neighborhood. What's going on here? They're more of the research versus the social media leads that kind of see an ad and like, oh, that sounds interesting. And they just kind of click on it. So middle of the funnel will be more direct, more research. Then you have your bottom of the funnel leads. Now, this is where you're having more of your conversations with people. You're actually talking to them and asking them the qualifying questions. So they are closer to making a decision. If you pick up the phone, called your database and asked them, hey, have they had any interest in buying or selling a home? And they say, actually, yes, that would be considered bottom of the funnel lead, because now you have a better understanding of their plans. And really, all of this comes down to finding out their timing. Find out the timing. When you look at the top of the funnel leads that come into your system, right, you may not know their timing. You have no idea when they want to do something, right? Versus your bottom of the funnel leads, where you have a direct conversation with them. And they're like, yes, I want to do something by this time. Can we do it? So that's why it's considered bottom of the funnel leads. Now, on today's call, I want to share with you how to create more more engaging content, and that would drive more results. Now, it's going to drive both that top and middle of the funnel leads, right? This week, we're talking about video. It's going to be a lot about video. It'll be the technical stuff of video, like how to create a show, and it'll be on content. Because at the end of the day, we need to both have that. We need to attract leads in all three of those sections. Top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. We need to attract all of them, because eventually those top of the funnel leads move down into middle of the funnel. And then those middle of the funnel leads move down into bottom of the funnel, right? As time goes by. And then eventually those bottom of the funnel leads pan out, and we have our sales, we have our listings, we have our new buyers that we're working with. So this all comes to fruition, but we need to be filling in all three sections as much as we possibly can. So today, right at the top of your page, it is creating engaging content that drives results. And, obviously, if you're paying attention to Tom Ferry, you know that he's all in when it comes to video, right? We're basically in the video age. Right. And there's nothing about it. Like, you have to be doing video. And every Tom Ferry show that they do, there's like a topic that comes out, and it generates a ton of questions and comments. So there's tons of engagement that happens with it. So today I want to kind of go through it. How does it look like in creating a show like Tom Ferry each week, each week coming in? How do we multi-purpose this? What do we need to do to create that amazing show? So I have 4 tips in helping you create that engagement. So the first one I want you to write down is you really do need to define your intention before creating any content. right? We need to define our intention before creating any content, right? I mean, we've all been through it. We've looked at a video, watched a video that was, not that great, and you're thinking to yourself, man, this is terrible. This is an awful video, right? And we don't want to have that happen for you. We want to create that engagement, right? So we want to make sure that we create a video, a story, right, that can be published. And it's like, hey, pride of ownership, right? We take so much time in creating physical mail or email, physical, I'm gonna say postcards or advertisement or marketing, that we take so much time in producing it, but yet we don't take the same amount of pride when it comes to our own video content. And I want you to understand that that needs to be done as well. So here's the thing, is if you're creating, you need to create an intention in your mindset that you'll notice that your videos will take life and start to really impact powerfully for you and your audience, right? See, there needs to be a story that you're telling in your video. So you need to first and foremost define who's your audience, who's the target audience that you're going after, who's that avatar. Then create a message that will resonate with them. And then, of course, you need to deliver that message to them in a way that makes sense to them, right? Who is it that I am targeting? So number one is you need to create that intention. What's the content? Who's it for? And why do they need to have this? And we've talked about how in the past that if you find out what their pain points are to your target audience, what's that problem that they have, and then come up with a solution for that problem, and then put it on video. And that video should indicate the problem. It should feature those pain points, those issues that the client is facing right now, and then here's a solution. See, that would be well-intended. That would be you defining the content and creating it for that target audience that you're looking for. So defining your intentions before you create the content is number one. Number two is entertain or die. Make the content that the people will want to care about, right? You can't force the audience to care about your content, but you can create content that they will care about. So, I mean, let's think about it. Have you ever been and had a painful experience watching a very boring movie, right? Or video, right? It leaves you with a bad feeling, and it's like you wasted your time doing this. So watching any video online is essential to a transaction, right? The viewer gives time or money in exchange for a rewarding watching experience. So people want to watch a video that will entertain them, but the video itself needs to have one of two simple, it needs to be entertaining and or something that they learn, right? So if they're going to learn something from you, right, they're getting their time, their money's worth of watching it, or if they're going to be entertained, right? So keep that in mind, that we need to make sure that we're putting out content that will either teach or entertain them, right? So when you think about, you selling a product, what about selling my product or my service, right? When you're in communication with someone, you should never lose their attention. And the quickest way to lose someone's attention is to try and sell them on something. So the best way to sell your service is to initially not sell them at all. Instead, you should focus on providing a rewarding viewing experience. Really key here, right? You're providing them with that experience. In order to provide them with that experience, you must create the content that first and foremost provides them with value. So give them something that fulfills either the reasons for them to be watching this. The content will build that relationship with the audience, and then it allows you to sell on them. You're not going to sell anyone who doesn't trust you, right? And if you're not putting out content that resonates with them, then the trust won't be built. It's really key that we're building that trust. So that's number two. So number two is you need to entertain or die, baby. Number three, write this down. Create and publish content based on the platform. Don't forget to maximize the opportunities of your video, right? So when we look at creating content, I'm always going to share with you to use the platform of YouTube. I think that is the best platform to start with, because then you can take the content that you put up there and repurpose it on multiple other platforms. See, a YouTube video, a YouTube show that comes in regularly once a week, you can simply take the audio of that video and create a new podcast. That is another platform where you can get now new clients. You can take the transcription of that video and then move it into, let's say, a blog on your website, on a landing page on your website, right? You could then have little snippets of that blog and create an email, a weekly email to send out to your clients that would take them to either the blog or to the video, right? And if you take it to the next level, these other social media platforms, you can take, for example, snippets and put it onto Facebook. You can put it onto Instagram, you put it onto Snapchat, you put it onto TikTok. But what I want you to be mindful of is understanding who's your target audience, because not all of this is going to work depending on the content you put out there. Remember that Facebook tends to be for the older demographic compared to Instagram and Snapchat. So you really need to understand, hey, what snippet am I putting on these different platforms, right? To make it more amendable to the people that are watching it. Also, you need to look at the formats. Format's very key, because as you know, when you're watching a YouTube video, and the format will be different than watching on an Instagram. So understanding the viewing experience of the client. YouTube videos should be anywhere between, I would say, 5 to 10 minutes long. While a Facebook video tends to be shorter, it's more like 3 to 6 minutes long. Then when you're looking at Instagram, you're looking at under a minute. And then you're looking at on TikTok or even Instagram stories might be like 10 seconds, 10, 15 seconds. Snapchat is like 5 seconds, right? So understanding what's that viewing experience they're going to have. So when you pull out those snippets from your video, make sure you're aware of that, or whoever's doing this for you is aware of that, right? We want to make sure that we're properly publishing the videos onto each platform, so it doesn't take away from the experience. Very important there. Next, number 4, I want you to write this down. Number 4 is we want to create high quality content. And the reason we do this is to establish trust and credibility, right? This is the content's key. See, developing high quality content online is a powerful way to communicate your message. It establishes your brand, right? What is always true and forever to be true. We call this evergreen videos, which the information out there is always going to be relevant in today's marketplace. It's high quality content would be key, right? Because in the business world, developing quality products and conveying a professional approach, a credibility of yourself, right, is important. So don't dismiss the time spent in creating the content, right? Many agents just, they go on the whim. They look at what everyone else is doing and then they follow suit. Like a listing video is you're selling to the client. And what I just said is you don't sell to the client. You need to establish value. So just doing listing videos and putting that content out is not going to build trust with people. It's not going to bring in the leads for you, right? Take a look at what value can you bring a buyer in today's marketplace? What are they facing? What issues? And here's the value for them. What are the problems that a seller is facing today's marketplace, right? And then what is the value you can bring them? I like market updates. I think market updates are important. It establishes you as the authority in the real estate market. But I would take it a step further. Don't just share the stats. Don't just go into your MLS and say, hey, this is what's happening in the MLS, so I'm going to share that with you. Don't do that. Give it your opinion. Put your value into it. Why is it happening that way? What's the history of this, right? And I really, really like what's trending. Like putting out content such as, can you buy a home with Bitcoin, as an example, right? How does the war in Ukraine affect the real estate market in your part of the world, right? Like those are trending items. And if you spend some time to really think about it and give your opinion and put that content out there, I'm telling you right now, you're going to be the go-to agent. So I would say buyer information, seller information, market updates, and trending information are key topics that to use in today's marketplace, bringing value and creating that trust for you. All right. Does anyone have any questions, anything in their business that they need help with? No, you guys are all good? All right. Then please unmute yourselves. Please unmute yourselves. Gotta hear you, Moxie. I want to hear you, Moxie. You ready? Right? Please share. What day is today?
Money
making day.
That's right. It's a money-making day. So what do you have to do in your business right now to help you move the needle? You guys are awesome. I'll talk to all of you tomorrow. Thanks so much.